Capital of the Republic of Austria and one of Europe's most visited cities, Vienna owes much of its charm and rich history to its splendid location on the banks of the Danube River. Welcome to WatchZilla, and today we are going to explore the capital of Austria, Vienna. For centuries the gateway between West and East Europe, it was the natural nucleus of the once sprawling Habsburg Empire and to this day remains Austria's most important commercial and cultural hub. Vienna continues to attract visitors with its many great historical sightseeing opportunities, its fabled collections of art, glittering palaces, and exceptional musical heritage that's still carried on in concert halls and one of the world's great opera houses. With an unmistakably cosmopolitan atmosphere, Vienna retains a distinctive charm and flair, accentuated by its fine old architecture, its famous horse cabs, as well as its splendid coffee houses with their Viennese cakes and pastries. Whether you're looking for places to visit in Vienna for one day or things to do in several days, you'll have plenty of choices in this elegant city. If time permits, consider taking some day trips to explore the beautiful surroundings and nearby cities. Number 10. Prater. What could be a more enjoyable way to experience Vienna than having a fun-packed day at the Prater amusement park? Just north of Vienna's main tourist area is a 200-year-old amusement park called Prater, which is bound to spark nostalgia. The island, called Leopold, that Prater Park sits on was once part of royal hunting grounds before finally being opened to the public in 1766. The Wiener Prater Park was once a hunting ground that developed into a public space for food stands and small amusement stalls. It now hosts the impressive amusement park and is free to enter. The island also served as the home of Vienna's Jewish community from the 1400s on. Inside the park is a multitude of rides and stalls including a huge Ferris wheel, bumper cars, carousels and hair-raising rollercoasters. The Prater is perhaps best known for its iconic Ferris wheel, which has features in films such as Before Sunrise, The Third Man and James Bond's The Living Daylights. Featured in the acclaimed movie The Third Man in 1949, Prater is a great place for family fun. The rides are great for the whole family, and the classic 220-foot-tall Ferris wheel was famously featured in the 1949 Oscar-winning film The Third Man. Built in 1897, the historic Reisenrad offers sweeping views over Vienna. Even if you don't go for the rides, make sure to visit the Swiss House Beer Garden, which adds another level of fun. There are also such things as shooting ranges, a waxworks displays and a light gauge railway to keep you entertained. The best things about this amusement park is that there is no admission fee, you only pay for what you ride. If the funfair rides and attractions of the Prater amusement park do not appeal, nearby are acres of woods and meadows with many hiking trails, bike paths, cafes, sporting facilities and playgrounds. The 5-kilometer tree-lined Hauptallee route through the Prater is particularly popular with joggers and cyclists. Do yourself a favor and put Prater Park on your itinerary for a truly Viennese experience. Number 9. Rathaus. The Wiener Rathaus isn't a place where visitors can eat wieners, though a notable restaurant serving Vietnamese delicacies is located on the premises. Rather, it serves as Vienna's town hall, as well as the seat of government for the state of Vienna. When Vienna's medieval city wall was torn down in the mid-1800s to make way for the grand boulevard known as the Ringstrasse, the old town hall from 1316 was abandoned in favor of this new spectacular neo-Gothic building. Vienna's City Hall is an impressive neo-Gothic building that serves as the city's administrative center. The Rathaus with its Rathausplatz and Rathauspark is located directly at the Ringstrasse opposite the Burgtheater. Completed in 1883, the 321-foot-tall tower of Town Hall dominates the large square below it. Remarkable for its size, it occupies nearly 14,000 square meters of the former parade ground. This attractive building was completed in 1883 and is notable for the famous Rathausmann on top of its 98-meter high tower, a banner carrying iron figure presented to the city as a gift from its master locksmith. If you choose to hike up the 331 steps to the top of the tower, you'll have great views of Vienna. The tower is capped with 17-foot-tall Rathausmann who stands guard over the city. The watchman might not look that big from the ground, but he weighs over 1,400 pounds and is so large that he would need a size 31 shoes. There is nearly the whole year some events in front of the neo-Gothic-styled City Hall. The arcaded courtyard in the center of the building is the largest of 7 courtyards and is used for popular summer concerts. And also, the park is a nice place to stay. In the summer months, a full-sized movie screen takes up the entire site of City Hall as it plays free outdoor movies over the park and beer garden. The Rathaus beer garden has authentic food, great beer, and wine from all over the world with good prices and a ton of perfect outdoor seating. Most of the beer garden workers are often in traditional Austrian dress, which makes the whole experience that much more unique. In the winter there is a large outdoor ice skating rink set up in the park, and the entire city area turns into a Christmas village. Highlights of a guided tour of the building include the Schmidt-Halle, the large entrance into which carriages would once drive to deposit their passengers, and the two grand staircases leading to the assembly hall. Other sites included in the tour are the heraldic rooms, the city senate chamber, and the mayor's reception room. Number 8, Naschmarkt. Just 2 blocks off of Ringstrasse, there is really cool collection of sites around Karlsplatz you just have to visit. The focal point of the square is the giant St. Charles Church built in 1737. With a large green dome and huge reflecting pool, the white is a favorite among photographers. The church was commissioned by Emperor Charles VI after Vienna's last bout of plague because he felt that his prayers were the reason why the plague stopped. The park out front of the St. Charles Church offers public access to the underground sewer tours. On the tours you can follow the footsteps of the famous chase scene from the 1949 film The Third Man in Vienna's sewers. It is here that Orson Welles' character Harry Lime descended below the city. Near Karlsplatz you find the windowless Secessionist Art Museum, which is a unique golden dome nicknamed the Cabbage Head. Opened in 1898, the museum was made in a modernist style with the interior meant to be a white canvas for exhibits instead of a classic museum. Next to the museum is Vienna's most popular produce market, the 6-block-long Naschmarkt. A visit to Vienna's famous Naschmarkt is a must for both food lovers and those interested in Secessionist architecture. Marketplaces often define a city and give a good representation of its heritage and culture. They are engaging places to walk through and provide tourists with an authentic slice of local life. The Naschmarkt is held on the Wenzel Street and stretches for around 1.5 kilometers, full of stalls selling anything from fresh fruit and vegetables to herbs, cheese and seafood. An active market has been operating here since 1780 and today has 100 vintage stalls. The outdoor market features a lively collection of over 100 stalls selling an array of spices, meats, dried and fresh fruits, cheese and many other delicacies. Dating back to the 16th century, the market is surrounded by gorgeous buildings of the secessionist movement, including Otto Wagner's Majolica and gold leaf houses. The atmosphere, sounds, sights and smells are tantalizing, and the grand scale of the market make it famous worldwide. This is a market where you will find more locals than tourists and get a real taste for Vienna. Number 7, Naturhistorisches Museum. And, finally, Vienna's Natural History Museum, where there is much debate as to whether the collections or the building itself are deserving of most praise. Same can be said of many of Vienna's museums. Did I mention this one has dinosaurs? Built in the late 19th century, the Natural History Museum is located on the Ringstrasse and is identical to the Kunsthistorisches Museum, which lies directly in front of it. Best known for its huge dinosaur hall and for the world's largest exhibit of meteorites, is a fascinating place to visit. Vienna's Natural History Museum is one of the most important of its kind in the world and is remarkably home to over 30 million objects. The 39 exhibition rooms cover everything from precious stones and dinosaurs to prehistoric art and stuffed animals. Its 39 exhibit halls trace such subjects as the origins and development of humans and the evolution of human culture from prehistoric times. Visitors will learn a lot from its fascinating displays and exhibits. One of its rarest treasures is the so-called Venus of Willendorf, a pottery figurine dating from between about 28,000 and 25,000 BCE. The museum's newest feature is its digital planetarium with full dome projection. Just as stunning as the extensive collection is the beautiful palace itself, featuring elegant galleries, staircases, and lobbies. The building opened in 1889 and is itself a work of art, especially the magnificent ceiling painting above the main staircase. A variety of fun workshops and guided tour options are available, and audio guides are provided upon request. Number 6, Kunsthistorisches Museum. A stunning array of priceless artworks are on display in Vienna's main art gallery, the Kunsthistorisches Museum. Vienna's top museum for historical art, featuring regular exhibitions and permanent collections covering the antiquities through to Renaissance and Baroque art. Opened by Emperor Franz Joseph I in 1891, the stupendous Museum of Art History is located on the Ringstrasse in a magnificent palatial building that dominates its surroundings. The building itself, which opened to the public in 1891, impresses travelers as well. Its facade features ornate sculptures. The museum was established to house the Habsburgs' extensive art collection, and the lavish interior is befitting of all of the wonderful masterpieces on show. The works at the Kunsthistorisches Museum, or Museum of Fine Arts, range from ancient Egyptian and Greek objects to masterpieces by numerous European masters, including Titian, Velázquez, Van Dyck and Rubens. Perhaps most famous for its globally important collection of Bruegels. Exploring the endless galleries is fascinating, and the list of renowned artists rolls off the tongue as you pass works by Caravaggio, Tintoretto, Van Dyck, Raphael, Rembrandt, and Rubens. While the museum features the most extensive collection of painting by Peter Bruegel the Elder, artworks by Vermeer, Caravaggio, and Titian also line the walls for art lovers. In fact, the collection here is so extensive that many people say the walls of the Hofburg Palace look bare in comparison. The former collection of the Habsburg monarchy also includes Egyptian, Greek, and Roman antiquities. Recent travelers appreciated the wide range of work on display at this museum and note just how large the buildings is and how much art is held within. A few suggested breaking up the day with a quick cup of coffee at the on-site shop. Number 5, Belvedere Palace. The summer residence of Prince Eugene is now a venue for exhibitions and boasts its own extensive art depot. Among Vienna's most popular attractions, Belvedere Palace is really two splendid Baroque buildings, the Lower Belvedere and the Upper Belvedere. It consists of the Baroque palaces, the Lower and Upper Belvedere, palace stables and the orangery, all set in a Baroque-style park. The Belvedere is an integral part of Vienna's historic scene, consisting of several palaces and an orangery that dates back to the late 17th century. Like the Albertina, marvel at both the art and the interiors in the two Belvedere palaces. Discover the palace complex with a rich history situated close to the center. During the French Revolution, the palaces served as home to French royalty fleeing their country. Highlights of the Upper Palace include the ground floor hall with its statues and the ceremonial staircase with its rich stucco relief and frescoes. Also, worth seeing is the Marble Hall, a stunning two-story hall with numerous period sculptures, paintings, and ceiling frescoes. The Lower Palace also boasts a marble hall, this one noted for its oval plaster medallions and rich ceiling frescoes, as well as a marble gallery built to house a collection of historic statues. Other notable buildings include the Winter Palace, the Orangery, the Palace Stables, and the Belvedere Gardens and fountains linking the two palaces. The Österreichische Galerie Belvedere is an art museum in the Belvedere Palace, known for its extensive collections, including a rich array of sculptures and panel paintings from the 12th to the 16th centuries. But it is perhaps best known for Austrian symbolist artist Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, a masterpiece of early modern art. The Belvedere is stunning to look at during the night when it is all lit up and well as provides great views of Vienna. Number 4, Vienna State Opera. In a city famous for music and the arts, it is the Grand Vienna State Opera House that definitely takes the prize. Opera and fine architecture are synonymous with Vienna, and the Vienna State Opera provides both in abundance. Vienna and opera go together like soccer tort and whipped cream. Opera lovers can visit one of the finest concert halls in the world by taking a trip to the Vienna State Opera, where standing tickets to top-class performances are available. This outstanding building is located centrally in the Innere district and is considered one of the finest opera houses in the world. Opened in 1863, this gorgeous 1,200-seat theater has housed some of Austria's most famous classical musicians and still hosts over 300 performances a year. Built in the 19th century, the Neo-Renaissance building has played host to directors such as Gustav Mahler and Richard Strauss. The beautiful theater and grand common areas make touring the opera house amazing. The exterior has a neo-Renaissance style and is characterized by its many arches and arched windows, while the interior is extremely decadent and feels more like a palace than a place of musical celebration. If you are looking to catch a show at this monument to music, you can expect to choose from famous operas, ballets, and can even take part in large Viennese balls. It was in Vienna where the waltz was born and where Mozart wrote his famous opera The Marriage of Figaro, so you know they know how to put on a show. Daily guided tours are available which last around 40 minutes and give a good overview of the building. Tours of the Opera House run throughout the day, providing visitors with an insight into one of the most important buildings in Vienna. If you wanted to see a live concert or opera, you would need to research what is showing before your visit and buy tickets. One of the best parts of the State Opera House is that they sell standing room-only seats before each show for only a couple of euros. This lets you pop in to get part of the experience then leave once you had your fill without breaking the bank for your ticket. Number 3. Hofburg Palace. The Hofburg is located at the impressive Hildenplatz. A century ago Vienna was the center of a mighty empire. For more than 6 centuries the seat of the Habsburgs and the official residence of every Austrian ruler since 1275, the Hofburg is perhaps the most historically significant of Vienna's palaces. It has been home to some of Europe's most powerful royalty over the centuries, including the Habsburgs and rulers of the Holy Roman and Austro-Hungarian empires. The Hofburg was the home of the Habsburgs until 1918, one of the largest and grandest palaces in the world. It looks a little like a huge, iced cake. Today you could happily lose yourself here for days. The Hofburg Imperial Palace has played an integral part of the Austrian government scene since it was built in the 13th century. Today, it is a museum and home to the President of Austria. The official seat of the Austrian president, this sprawling complex consists of numerous buildings reflecting various periods, including architectural flourishes from the Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and Rococo movements. All told, this vast complex covers 59 acres with 18 groups of buildings, including 19 courtyards and 2,600 rooms. The palace has numerous wings and halls built by various royalty over the centuries, but only 3 parts are open to the public today: the Imperial Apartments, the Sisi Museum, dedicated to Elizabeth, wife of Emperor Franz Joseph, and the Silver Collection, a collection of imperial household objects. The Imperial Apartments, Sisi Museum and Imperial Silver Collection are all located in the same area of the Hofburg Palace, the winter pendant to Schönbrunn Palace. Its main attractions are the Imperial Apartments, the Sisi Museum, and the Silver Collection, while other notable sites within the complex include the Imperial Chapel and the Hofburg Treasury with its large collection of imperial regalia and relics of the Holy Roman Empire. Informative guided tours are available in English. You can stop at the Hofburg and the city's other important tourist attractions on the Vienna Big Bus Hop-on Hop-off tour. This is by far the best option for first-time visitors who want to see the major sites and get acquainted with Vienna. Number 2. Schönbrunn Palace. When the Habsburg royal family took control of this riverside property 1569, it was considered very rural in the woods outside Vienna. The Habsburgs have held residence here for many years, and indeed emperors of Austria have been born in the palace too. In the 1700s, Emperor Charles VI and his daughter Maria Theresa started to turn the property from a hunting lodge into a true estate. This included gardens, fountains, and a zoo which today is the world's oldest. The Schönbrunn Palace and grounds offer many possibilities for visitors. When beloved Empress Sisi moved to Schönbrunn in the mid-1800s, the estate moved to palace status as it grew to 1,441 stately rooms and grand halls. Standing since the 1600s and holding a major role of cultural importance in Austria, the Schönbrunn Palace is a colossal 1441-room structure and complex that is the main tourist attraction in Vienna. Empress Sisi had an unlimited budget along with a taste for fashion and design. Today you can tour dozens of the main rooms, along with the grounds, garden, zoo, and carriage museum. Take in the Baroque elegance of the palace imperial apartments and staterooms used by Habsburg royalty. The palace itself is an immense building and designed in a Baroque style with a symmetrical main building that has hundreds of windows and statues on the rooftop. Inside the palace are an assortment of rooms all fully furnished and decorated in the original style. You can enjoy a tour through the rooms and admire the sumptuous furnishings and see how Austrian royalty lived. Afterwards, stroll through the perfectly manicured gardens, breathing in the scent of roses, before ascending to the Gloriette for spectacular views over Vienna. Children may enjoy a trip to the historic Schönbrunn Zoo, operating since 1752, with resident pandas, lions, penguins and sea lions. On hot days, the Schönbrunn's 50-meter outdoor pool is a great place to cool off. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. St. Stephen's Cathedral. The symbol of the city, no less. Vienna's most important Gothic edifice and the cathedral church of the Archbishopric since 1722, St. Stephen's Cathedral sits in the historic center of Vienna. Built in the 12th century, St. Stephen's is the fixed point around which Vienna turns, and if you climb the 343 steps to the top of its mighty Gothic tower, you'll be rewarded with unforgettable views. St. Stephen's Cathedral, also known as Stephansdom, had humble beginnings as a parish church in the 12th century. The original 12th century Romanesque church was replaced by a late Romanesque one in the 13th century, the remains of which are the massive gate and the heathen towers. Next came reconstruction in the Gothic style in the 14th century, along with the addition of the choir and the chapels of St. Eligies, St. Terna, and St. Catherine, while the famous 137-meter-high South Tower belongs to the 15th century. The church was destroyed in World War II, but was rebuilt in 7 years, with worship services still held daily. Improvements and further construction followed from the 17th to 19th centuries, and the whole structure was rebuilt after World War II. The cathedral and its Pommern bell are well-known Vienna landmarks and symbols for the Austrian reconstruction after the Second World War. Today, it is the home church for the Catholic Archbishop in Vienna. The cathedral, one of the city's most important landmarks, reaches high into the Viennese skyline. Its impressive roof is covered by 230,000 glazed tiles. The cathedral has more than 18 altars, all built at different times, and contains precious works of art as well. Highlights include climbing the 343 steps to the Steffels watch room for the spectacular views, and the North Tower, home to the massive Pommern bell. With a weight of 21.383 kilograms, the Pommern is the largest and heaviest bell in Austria. Other features of note are the 14th century catacombs and the cathedral treasure, containing many of the cathedral's most important artifacts. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchZilla and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.